Good morning. My name is Lyndon Crane. I'm a board member at the Amherstburg Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to our first episode of Feature Friday, where the second and fourth Friday of each month at 11 a.m., we're interviewing our chamber members to understand their unique business stories and also to share the latest offerings of their business. Today, I'm joined by Lori Whiteman, the lead bookseller at River Bookshop, to tell us all about the great things that are happening at the River Bookshop in downtown Amherstburg. Lori, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lyndon. I'm happy to be here.
So, Lori, how did the doors at River Bookshop first open? Or I guess when did they first open, and why did this business start?
So our big grand opening, adjusted grand opening for COVID was August 14th, 2020. So smack dab in the middle of the pandemic. And how we came about was that Richard Petty, the owner, is a strong believer in great towns need at least two things, a good library and a good bookstore. We already had a library, so natural progression was, he wanted to start a bookstore. He's a big reader, enjoys books. He always says that books have been his mentor through his life. So it kind of seemed like a natural thing for him to do. I think he also likes to stay busy, so that helped out in that aspect as well.
For sure. And I guess you mentioned books, that you sell books. Are there any other products that River Bookshop offers for the community?
We do. We have some curated goods. We have lots of jigsaw puzzles. Those have been selling really well in the middle of the pandemic. People love to do a jigsaw puzzle. We have candles, specialty matches, specialty teas, Shinola journals. So we have a little bit of a selection of some curated goods as well as the books that we carry.
Awesome. And I've heard that you do some type of thought or like speaker series at the River Bookshop with special guests. Tell us about that.
We do. We started this shortly after we opened, having different series of speakers. We had a sports series, we had a racial justice series, and we're attracting not just authors, but speakers, experts on those subjects to come in and speak to crowds, small crowds. We're lucky enough that our upstairs event space has been outfitted with audiovisual equipment, so we can zoom in authors, we can zoom them out to our readers, and we also have the capability to have people here in the event space that can interact with the authors at the same time as we are also zooming it out to everybody. So I think we've had about 16 or 17 speakers already before we had to shut down. And at the time we shut down, I think we had another 15 or 16 scheduled, or at least in the hopper ready to go. So we're just waiting until we can do that again.
Well, it seems like the River Bookshop's definitely keeping busy, and especially during the pandemic. You mentioned the upstairs and the outfit it has upstairs. Can you talk to us about, I guess, when somebody walks into the River Bookshop, what do they see?
Well, when you walk into the River Bookshop, you wouldn't know that there's an upstairs because the way to get to it is through a secret door. So once you go through the secret door, you can go upstairs to the speaker events space that we call Hole in the Wall, which has some historic significance to Amherstburg. There's an area in the river where there's a break between islands and rum runners, and we believe freedom seekers, although we don't really have any proof of that, use that to get from the United States to Amherstburg, and it was called Hole in the Wall. So that's what we named that space out of. It's very reminiscent of Great Gatsby, Scott Fitzgerald, kind of the rum runners, decadence, that kind of thing. That's the decor. We have a lot of interesting historic pictures on the wall. It's really, even just coming to it is an experience over and above just, the speaker or the event that you might come to.
Amazing. And what's the community been saying about when they've come to River Bookshop? What are they saying after they've left?
The community's been great. Bar none, I think everybody has come in and said that they love that there's a bookshop in town. They love the events. They think the bookshop is beautiful. We put a lot of thought into the decor of the bookshop. We wanted it to be a third place where you're comfortable coming in, relaxing, chit-chatting, the kind of place that is sort of a community hub where you would go and not necessarily feel like, you have to spend a lot of money, that you could stick around in, chit chat, meet people, that kind of thing. So I think we've done that. I think we fulfilled that mission, and people seem really pleased. We've had a lot of people come in and sit by our fire and just sit and chat and thumb through their book. So it's really nice. It's nice. I've met a lot of new people, and I thought I knew a lot of people in this town from my work at the library, but I've met a lot of new people that love books, and I think this is a really good addition to the town.
And Lori, I know you're a book lover yourself. What has your experience been working at the bookshop as the lead bookseller?
I am. I'm a book lover from way back. I can remember interrupting my parents' dinner parties to bring out my library books to show all the guests what I got at the library. So, I've always loved books. This is sort of, it's not like I've gotten a new job since I left the library. It's kind of the same job. You're still recommending to people. You're still talking about books. It's just, a little different way of getting them to people. So this is kind of like a dream come true for me. It's another way to share something I love with people. It's always a big rush when you introduce someone to a new author or a new book, or when they come back and they tell you, "Oh my God, I read that book you gave me. It was phenomenal." That's always a good kind of a validation of what you're doing. So I get that every day. It's the best of both worlds.
Awesome. Well, it seems like the employees at River Bookshop definitely love where they're working, and the community loves the bookshop as well. Can you talk to us about some upcoming events, promotions, things that are happening that people can look forward to that are watching?
Sure. So like I said earlier, we had a bunch of events scheduled that when we went into the grade level, we had to cancel. So those are all lined up. We're just waiting until we can get back to orange, because we don't want to start anything and then have to cancel again. So we have a history series coming up with Meg Reiner from the Marsh Collection. Will be speaking on Amherstburg in the 1920s. We've got Deborah and Robert Honor will be speaking about Bellevue. We have a speaker on Boblo. And we're working in tandem with the Freedom Museum about Boblo and its heritage in that aspect. We have a health series. We have one other series: health, history, climate. We've had a couple of speakers speak about climate, so we've got a couple more. I think Richard this morning said that we have about 17, another 17. Lined up, ready to go. We're going to have a bee professional come in, talk to us about bees. So it's really exciting. I'm excited to get all these events going. We've had a lot of people that have been to the ones that we've already had that are just anxious. We had a gentleman in yesterday that said, "I can't wait till you start up the events again because they're so interesting." So we're chomping at the bit to do that.
And it seems like they're targeted towards multiple different ages. People can even zoom in and have that virtual aspect if they don't want to come in. So there's those two types of platforms available, which is really great for people looking to learn more about a certain subject. But Lori, we had a question come in, and it was asking, what are some top books or top picks that are hot on the shelf right now that you can share?
Okay. Oh, top picks. Okay. We have one book called The Push by Ashley Audrain. That's a new one. We did do a virtual event with Penguin Random House for that one a few weeks ago, which I think helped it get a little popularity. But that's the one that I've been telling people. This one is a really good read. It's very suspenseful. It's very tense. And that one, every single person I've recommended it to has come back. That's been like 4 or 5 people in the last couple of weeks has come back and said, "Oh my God, it was so good." So that's a good one. I always recommend Robert Parker. He writes a series. He's passed away now, but he writes a series called the Spencer series. For those people watching that are of a certain age, you might remember the Spencer for Hire TV show. It was based off that series of books. That is my favorite private eye detective thing. It's got wonderful dialogue. It's got fabulous characters. Spencer is a man that, you know, he's a tough guy, but he's got a heart of gold and he's got a strong moral compass. I love A Tree Grows in Brooklyn is my favorite book ever, so I like to recommend that one. It's set in the 1800s in Brooklyn, obviously, and tells the story of Franny, she starts the book at 12 years old, and her family is very poor, and it just tells kind of the struggles that she goes through. It's kind of bleak at times, but it has a lot of hope in it. I could go on forever.
Well, there's definitely great titles and recommendations that you shared with us, and I imagine there's hundreds of books available at the River Bookshop.
Thousands. Well, Lori, this has been great, and I want to wrap things up for those watching. Where can people find the River Bookshop? How can they get in touch with you? Okay, we are at 67 Richmond Street in beautiful downtown Amherstburg. You can reach us online at www.riverbookshop.com. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram. We're talking about kind of maybe doing some TikTok, but I don't know about that. I might have to talk to you, Lyndon, to see if, you know, how young people do TikTok nowadays. I think that's everything. Awesome. If you have questions, there's questions, you can always email us, info@riverbookshop.com. Excellent. Lots of ways to find River Bookshop, and I definitely recommend checking it out in beautiful downtown Amherstburg. Thousands of books available. Lori, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in 2 weeks from now on the next Friday. It's the 4th Friday of March, and we'll be back here with another chamber member at 11 a.m. to talk about their business. Lori, thanks so much for joining the show today. Thank you for having me, Lyndon. Awesome. Take care, everyone.